major influences been? People, film, art, events, or family, life experiences? What are those?
Me and Vincent, whenever we spoke, we discovered that we have very similar taste in the films we have watched because we come from the southern subcontinent of Asia, and there are certain kind of films that appeal to us. Films like Lion, films like Separation. It's funny because I was talking to Marv right now, and we were talking about how disconnected we've become in this world, and stories of empathy, generosity, kindness is something that have always appealed to us, attracted us. Um, yeah, so those were our main influences.
Great. And Vincent, would you like to also answer that question?
I love character-driven stories. My favorite story is the Florida Project, and also very into the recent movie Lamb. So I just saw the feature film and really enjoyed it. It's my type. I love the camera following this narrow group of people, get very deep into their story and shine their lights and like tell their part of the story, share the vision. I was just chatting with Shayang, and like the amazing part of the film festival, like Ohio Film Festival, is to show the movie from different part of the story, and it's like a little window we can take a peek to different people's vision.
Absolutely, that definitely was a window that we were looking at. So, both of you, what advice would you give to young filmmakers today?
I would say, being a young filmmaker myself, I would say that the one thing that is the most important to me is staying true and authentic to the content of the story that you're telling. That's the only way you can tell a story effectively and beautifully. So stay true and stay authentic. Don't try to do what the other person is doing, for sure.
And as a producer, I will recommend everybody to ask everything twice. So don't turn down the director's thought, and because if the director wants to be authentic to their story, they can't deny their thoughts. They have to be willing to speak out. As a producer, their role is to listen to them and figure out a way to achieve them realistically.
Great. Now, could I turn it over to any questions from the audience? Would anyone like to ask a question of these wonderful filmmakers and producers? Great.
I would, but I can speak loudly enough.
Excellent, I love that.
I've seen so many films tonight. Would you embrace me with the premise of Forlorn so that I can connect with you, because my brain is right now mashed with papers.
So the premise is on a youngster who is failing miserably in his life, but the main reason for which this is all reflected in his life is his troubled relationship with his family. And there we have another old man who has not so great on the surface relationship with his son, and it's their story of connecting based on a simple common empathy they have for each other.
Thank you. I remember the film now. Thank you.
Did this come from your life experience?
Actually, it did. So when I was in my 8th grade, I was about to flunk my final exams, and there was a committee that was deciding the students' promotion to the next grade based on their performances and their potential and whatever. So I was sitting outside the room along with a couple of students who didn't do well that year, and constantly I was afraid of how I disappointed my entire family, and that fear is something that I remember to this day. So that was something that I tried to portray on screen. So yeah, kind of.
Did the film help you resolve that for yourself?
Not yet. I'm still afraid.
So there's a next film that will help you resolve.
Yes, probably a feature.
What's next for you all?
We're still
We're still thinking. We're trying to make something for sure. Probably a feature for next time.
Yeah, me and Cheyenne is developing a feature script, but it's still in a working stage, and we would love to share with everybody when it's more ready.
Great.
Is it based on similar story as this or completely different?
It's slightly different, but it's also a character-driven story that we really wanted to do because we are in a very interesting stage as an international student. We can only stay here for 1 year to work and to find a way to stay here and make work. And so we want to make that, turning that into a movie. I think it's going to be a very interesting concept.
Thank you.
My question is very basic. English is not my first language, so I wanted to ask about the last sentence because I couldn't understand. He says, just enjoy the sunset, and then he says one more thing that I didn't understand.
He tells him to enjoy the sunset, and then the old man asks the young man, says, what age did you start smoking? He says, when I was 15. And he says that I used to take them from the back of my dad's back pocket. And then he says, well, the damage starts at this time. You're not harming anybody but yourself. That was the last.
Thank you.
Did you smoke? I have to ask.
I do.
Where do you live? Where do you produce these?
We
Films.
we went to film school together.
Yeah.
So we collaborated. This was our thesis project for our final year.
In LA?
Yeah, in Orange, Chapman.
Chapman.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of films from Chapman here. It's
Yeah.
great.
Well, any other questions from the audience? Well, we'd all like to thank you so much for attending tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheyenne.